All right, guys, welcome to the team call. We're going to go ahead and get started as people load in, but it's 9 o'clock, and I want to definitely respect your evening time. I'm excited tonight to have some guest speakers. And if anybody is here for your first time on a team call, let me just say welcome. Welcome to our Tuesday night team call. This is, like the only time that we really get to meet face to face as a group, as a team. Those who can make it, and it's pretty special. So whenever you can make it live, I really think it's incredibly valuable to make it live. This whole business on social media can be kind of isolating when you're not really like getting more face to face with the people that you work with. So I just love Zoom. I really feel like this is important to me to look into your eyes and see your faces like this. So I don't think I have any major announcements this evening, except that if you're not, anybody here, like who's on a Team Cup team? Yes, good. Everyone here is on a Team Cup team that it appears. I don't know if you saw the event I created last week called Team Cup Bingo. It's showing up as a past event because they don't let you have month-long events. They like events in Facebook. It's like, I don't know what their problem is. I like for it to like always show up as current. But if you just go on the team page and you search like bingo, you should be able to find the event. But I'm doing a fun little thing. I did this last Team Cup. Where every time you get a bingo on this bingo sheet, you can post below the post, and I'm doing a big raffle each week for prizes. And each of the bingos are basically your vital behaviors. So you can find the PDF in the event. It's basically doing your vital behaviors like you're normally doing, but like with prizes. So like, why not? That's kind of the way I figure. That's how I feel about Team Cup too. It's like, why not? You're already trying to do your vitals anyway if you're running this business. So just join a team and like maybe earn some prizes and hang out with some cool people. Like, get close with 4 other people and work together. Like, I just think, why not? And get more prizes by doing bingo. And there is some value to seeing the holes in your business because sometimes we don't see them as much when we're just kind of tracking however we normally do. And there's something about like, you kind of check off all the things that are easier for you or come natural to you. And then the ones that are left hanging, it's like, oh, I have my live posts. I have 2 live posts that I could be filling in, coach posts. And so that's where I know I'm not showing up as well as I might like to be. And that's important. Awareness is everything. So I strongly encourage you to take advantage of this. It's fun and it helps you grow your business. So why not? Okay, any other announcements for February? I mean, just take advantage of the fact that it's a $10 off challenge packs promo this month. Okay, guys, if you've ever had anybody who's given you a no and a price objection, go back around to them. Like, this is the perfect time because it's very rare. I've never seen them they used to do challenge pack sales a while ago before they had the all access pass. But then once they had the all access pass, they didn't have promos. So this is a big deal. And if you haven't gotten a lot of no's in this business, well, either you just signed up or you're not actually running a business yet. The price objection is like the biggest objection. So anybody that's ever told you price is an issue, you should be following up. Hey, I wanted to follow back up with you because I know that you mentioned having XYZ goal. I just wanted to let you know there happens to be a $10 promo, this month. It's really, really great chance for you to tackle those goals that you mentioned. I wanted to reach out to you first and see if you'd like to, take the first spots, first few spots in my group, whatever. Something that says, hey, I remembered you. I remembered that you had these goals, and I remembered that it was a little bit of a stretch for you financially. And even if they say no, oh well, you followed back up with them, you thought of them, and now you're that much closer to that person becoming, a challenger. Because if you haven't heard the statistic in this business, it takes, I don't know, there's like some sales stat. It's like a certain number of exposures. It's like between 8 and 12 exposures for someone to actually make a purchase. So when you run from a no one time and you keep running to the next person for a yes, you're spinning your wheels. We really need to be staying in touch with the people who are saying no, because those are the people because guess what? They're gonna say yes to someone eventually. But you want to be the person who was there for them. So this is the perfect time to be following up like a boss. What's up with the chat over here? Molly is in agreement. It appears. And Melody's bringing the blue hearts. So anyway, okay, guys. Becky Wario and Martha Clements are collaborating this evening to bring you the team call. This is exciting for me. I'm going to give you a brief background on these two. They're both in Sarah Whiteside's team. They're not my downline. They're not my personally sponsored coaches. I would be so lucky to have them as my PS coaches, but they're Sarah's coaches, and they have become like success partners. I don't think they would have. I don't know. Did you guys know each other before? Yeah, I love that. That makes me. I love that stuff. You know I do. But I think they're pretty different in like a lot of ways. But like. They complement each other, it seems, and they're very collaborative with each other. They encourage each other. They are a very awesome example of what a success partnership could look like. And if that's not something that you have in your life, I encourage you to actively seek that in your life. Actively seek that relationship. You may have to kiss a lot of frogs. It's just what it is. Just like with finding a boyfriend and a husband. Like I've mowed through some success partners, just trying to find that one who's going to be the best fit for me, and who are going to complement each other, challenge each other. Nobody's pulling dead weight, because you'll have that. That's okay. And you know what? It's kind of okay to be like. You don't. It doesn't have to be like. You can have a couple partners. You could be partnering around a little bit. Like it's cool. Like it's cool in Beachbody coaching. I definitely have different people in my life that I partner up with for certain type of dynamic. I mean, Sarah Lenore is my main partner, but she's cool with me seeing other people. No, I mean, my point is, it is like I've heard people say, well, I really like so-and-so, but like, and I like working with them, but I feel like I might need some more support. I'm like, it's okay. You don't have to break up with them. Like, it's not like that. But having somebody that is around your same place in the business, has similar goals as you, maybe has similar challenges as you in terms of like maybe your lifestyle is similar, so you can like relate to each other in that way. Not necessarily, but those things, can be, are valuable to be able to relate. I do think it can be a challenge if you're too much alike though, because when you're both having the same struggles, I guess, like for example, Sarah Lenore pushes me in terms of my creating trainings, but I push her more in terms of the leadership. You know what I mean? Like we have different strengths and we complement each other and challenge each other. So if that's not if you don't have that, start shopping around for that in your life. So I'm gonna read off these two girls' stats here. They are both diamond coaches and are in Team Phoenix. They are both success starters. So these are the reasons you want to listen to these ladies. These ladies have come into the business and they were success starters. They helped at least 3 people their first 3 months of their business. That is a challenge. That is no small feat. I know was not my experience. It is to be applauded to come right in and to actively find at least three people to help in consecutive months and to keep your market growing enough that you always have people to help. And these ladies are both Success Club all-star legends, meaning they have not only hit success starters through the first 3 months of their business, they have hit Success Club every single month for at least 2 years, and both of them beyond that. It is a non-negotiable to them. They have a system in their business, a funnel in their business where they know they always have, they make it that way, at least 3 people that they're going to bring on to their challenge groups. And I know it's a small percentage. It's a small, when you show up at Summit, these girls get some nice little stickers on their badges that say that, and I think you get some like access to Lions too. Like it's a big deal. They're kind of a big deal. All right. So my point is they know what they're doing. They have a lot of value to share with you. And I'm excited to hear from them. What else about them? Anything else I can say about them except that I just really like them a lot? I think they're pretty cool. Anyway, I'm excited for them to take over and share some value with you. So girls, I'm going to mute myself. And I'm going to let you guys unmute and go ahead. I'm sure they'd love to hear a little bit about your stories to your background. I think that's valuable. And then it's all you.
All right, here we go. Hi, Team Phoenix. So I'm a little nervous. I'm gonna be really upfront with you on that, which is funny because, well, I'll tell you a little bit about me. Martha's gonna tell you a little bit about her, and then we're gonna roll. I am a high school French teacher, so I've been doing this this is my 14th year, so that's why it's a little weird that I'm nervous right now. I don't know. I guess I was thinking about it today, and I think when you talk to people that you like truly deeply care about, it just has this different weight to it, and I don't know. It's different. So I'm a mom. Have an 8. Well, no, wait. She's 9. She just turned 9. I have a 9-year-old little girl who thinks she's a ninja. Is a handful, but teaches me every day to just be yourself and not give a crap about what anybody else thinks. And I'm divorced. I live with my boyfriend, and so I've had a lot of ups and downs in my life. I've had a lot of struggles and things that have derailed me throughout my adult years. But I found Beachbody. Sarah was the trainer at my school, and she, my boyfriend, is the field hockey coach, and so we kind of got to know each other through that. And kind of one of those things. I was like, I don't need this Beachbody stuff. Whatever. I was a college soccer player. I was, like had always been involved in stuff, and I'm like, whatever. I don't need your programs. I'm good. But there just became a point where, just like I think everybody else's story, it was the right time, and Hammer and Chisel came out, which was like my favorite program up until now. Gotta say, I'm loving 80-Day Obsession. I think it's my new spirit program, but we'll see. And then, it just kind of all went from there. I joined a challenge group in January, and January 16th, I signed up as a coach. So that's kind of my brief Beachbody story. This is just over 2 years for me. So.
And hello, I'm Martha. I am a little over 3 years. So Becky and I actually didn't really get going with each other until we went to Summit together. We drove together from Central Virginia all the way to Nashville and back. So that was an experience. And that's maybe where our relationship kind of blossomed. But before that, I am a teacher as well. I teach first grade. And I kind of was in my first year of teaching and realized I wasn't doing anything for myself. I was just waking up, going to work, coming home, and doing that day in and day out. And so Sarah invited me to a clean eating challenge, and it corresponded exactly to me training for my very first half marathon, because I was like, I have got to do something for myself. And so I was doing both of these things kind of blindly, but I am a all-in type of person. So I did clean eating challenges with Sarah for a long time and mooched off of her accountability groups for a long time. And she was very kind to me about that, until finally she said, Martha, I really think you could do this coaching thing. And I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds good. Let's do it. So 3 years later, I am kind of still just blindly going through. But hopefully we can share some focus with you tonight as to how we stay consistent and get rid of our excuses. But that's my short story. So if you know about Becky and I, or us personally, we really wanted to call this Cut the Bullshit, but we decided that might not be appropriate for a event banner. So we went with Eliminate Your Excuses. But we all have them. That's just natural as human beings. So what we are going to do tonight is give you 3 kind of sections of how we cut our bullshit. We're going to talk about suiting up, showing up, and teaming up. So Becky's going to start you off with how we suit up and what we think a Beachbody coach looks like, acts like, postures like, just for basics. We're not going anything crazy here tonight, but sometimes it's just important to hear this stuff more than once. So we keep it simple, and hopefully you will get something out of this too. All right, take it away, Becky.
All right. So like Martha's saying, we've all heard it some of us have heard it over and over again. Those of us who have been around for a little while, you've heard what we call the vitals and the basics and all that stuff. And, even when I was coaching, like the basics are the foundation of everything that you do. And if you can't do the basics, you're never going to get past the basics. That's pretty much where we're at. And so some of the things that we do to suit up, we like this whole, we're teachers, so you're just going to have to go with our organized structure because that's kind of how it goes. Some of the things we do every day, non-negotiables for us are drinking our shakes and working out. There are others, but for me, focusing on those, making sure that I get my shake in the morning. So, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this later, but we're busy people. I mean, I'm a mom, I'm a teacher, Martha's a teacher, and she does about everything that she could possibly do to be involved, if you know Martha. So for me to know that I'm going to have my shake every day, and it's going to be my nutrition, and it's going to be on point, and it's not just going to be some thing that I wave in people's faces, but it's actually benefiting me. In the last 2 years, I used to take allergy meds all the time. I don't take anything anymore. I used to, get sick every spring, every fall, and my sickness has been such a decrease because of this. So because I can kind of live that, I'm not just putting some product in front of somebody. It's making a difference in my life enough that it's proof that there's benefit to it. The same with working out. And for me, from the very beginning, I have always picked and stuck with a workout program and the nutrition piece that goes along with it. Straight from hammer and chisel in the beginning, I did the whole program the whole way through. I started figuring out those pretty little colored boxes and, implemented it into my life. And am I perfect with it? No, but I think, and Carl talks about this a lot, if you're just willy-nilly picking, sorry, that was really old person term. If you're just picking random stuff to do because you feel like it, that's not really what a program is. And as a coach, I think that we have to dedicate ourselves to experiencing the things that we want our challengers to experience. And if we're not willing to put ourselves in that level of uncomfortability, then why would we expect that somebody else would? And so to be able to really understand it, you have to live it. You can't say, I'm going to do this program and I'm going to do day 1 on Monday and maybe do day 2 on Thursday and day 3 next Tuesday. It's not really doing a program. So, committing to it and committing to the nutrition plan, that's hard. It's hard to make changes. It's hard to give things up. It's hard to, make sacrifices. It's very easy to say, my family won't eat that, or it doesn't fit into my work schedule to eat, time nutrition or whatever it is, well, that's where the bullshit comes in, because if you want something, I can guarantee you, if you want, a Starbucks coffee, you're going to find time to stop and get it. If you want a new dress from Target, you're going to go and, I love Target, but you're going to go and you're going to buy that. So, you have the opportunity to do those things. It's whether you want to or not. And I think as a coach, you have to want to and do it and follow through. So that's my part of that. Martha.
Dang, girl, preach. So along with that, it has to do with showing up and showing other people what you're doing. So documenting your journey. This might sound simple to you, but being consistent at all of these things is what makes you be consistent in the background when you're actually talking to people. So we're kind of setting you up for what will become business strategies later on. Document your journey. Show your sweaty selfies. Show your healthy eating. All of the Team Cup bingo page that Megan was talking about. That's so important for you to do on your social media, because people need to know what you're doing. You can't just be talking to them in your inbox and them not seeing you do it on your social media, because you're not going to go in there and be like, hi, today I had a tortilla pizza. You're not going to talk to them about that in your inbox. So you need to show that and show up publicly for those people to see. And another thing that I think both of us are really like we've been from the get-go kind of into is personal development. That's huge for suiting up. Both of us have stories in who we used to be and who we are and where our confidence and our growth and just like our entire being has changed because of our personal development. I cannot preach personal development enough. If you need books, if you need podcasts, like we can get that to you. It is critical to your mindset. And consistency is a mental game. Consistency and breaking those excuses down is based on what your thoughts are. So you have to take care of yourself with personal development. Maybe, I believe, maybe even first and foremost. That's something that we don't live without. It's necessary. We do it in the form of a miracle morning. I know many of you do it in the form of a miracle morning. And that's an awesome place to begin because it's changed our life even further from where we used to be. But if it's just you reading 10 minutes of a book in the morning or at night, whenever you can fit it in, start there. Start somewhere. Just start. And along with that, highly, highly recommend. You're doing it now. You're doing it right now. Show up on the team calls. Show up on the National Wake Up Calls or listen to them the week that they are played. Be active in the groups that are provided. Like, guys, the value that we have in Team Phoenix is insanity. And for us not to plug into that and be inspired by that every single day, like, look at this group of people. We have to be a part of that. We have to put in the energy to those things so they continue to grow and we can bring people into them too. So plugging in, starting, doing those necessary things is so huge to just suiting up and being what a true coach is. And that is, if you didn't notice the theme of every single thing we just shared, taking care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself. If you don't, your consistency is going to fail because you don't know how to take care of other people. Always, the oxygen mask analogy in an airplane where you have to put your oxygen mask on first before you put on someone else's. That's what this is. So moving on, we are going to talk about showing up. And this is the heart of it, guys. What excuses are holding you back? We're going to cut them and maybe even kick some of you in the chest, but it's going to happen and it's going to be good. And whether you are a new coach or an old coach or a veteran coach, you need to hear this. We all need to hear it all the time.
All right. So showing up. This is the hard part because, well, it gets to be the hard part. Let's put it that way. In the beginning, when you are brand new and you're excited, it can be really easy. You're in your warm market. You're talking to the people that you trust and that you know, which can be hard too. But generally, you're probably finding some great success. But then there comes a time where that whole idea of finding new people gets more difficult. And you start to doubt yourself and you hear lots of no's and you kind of, for me, I know there was a point, like pretty much I pushed really hard. And then there was a point where I just was like, I'm so tired of hearing people tell me no. And, I would say, like, do I really want to do this? Is this really what I want to do? Is this okay? Is this something I want in my life? Because I'm tired of people telling me no. I'm tired of, feeling like I'm failing at something, which is where PD comes in because Megan likes to say recovering perfectionist. That's like 100% me. I'm definitely not as far recovered, but I'm working on it. You should read You Are a Badass if you haven't, because that's a good one. Anyway, the idea is that it gets harder. And as it gets harder, it's harder to show up every day. And as life gets hard and busy, it's hard to show up every day. And so one of the things, I've done a lot of Josh Coates trainings. Kind of love the guy for the most part. He's pretty intense. And one of the things that Martha and I do is make sure that we're always tracking our power hours. And I've tried a bunch of different things. I've tried Teamzy. I have an Asana set up, and I will get that more organized. But the thing that's worked best for us is we have a power hour spreadsheet that we share with each other on a daily basis. And pretty much if we haven't seen each other's screenshot of it, we're like, hey, here's mine. let's see yours. I mean, I literally sent her mine like 5 minutes before we got on the call. And it's one of those things, I'm going to share it with you guys in the team documents, and I'll just show it to you real quick here. And then we'll kind of, just so you can see what it looks like. Let's see. Hold on. Hopefully this is going to work. Okay. Can you see it? Can you see my screen? Martha, give me a little heads up. Okay. I made you new, and this is what it looks like. And it basically takes, so it's got ideas for posts over here on the left and days of the week divided out. And this is one thing that Josh did with us to kind of help us make sure that we were covering everything. I really have liked this pattern of posting. Make sure that you cover everything every week. But the part that we tend to share with each other is this bottom section. So we're looking into, did we do our PD, our affirmations, our everything that kind of goes along with what we talked about in the suit up? And then did we get our invites and connections in? And you can set, I mean, whatever works for you. This has worked for us. I started doing it. I shared it with, I think it was our Team Cup group in August, maybe. And they were like, I love this. Let's do it. And I was like, all right, cool. And Martha and I have pretty much done it ever since. So now I need to figure out how to unscreen share. Hold on, let me get you guys back here. Oops. All right, Megan, help me out. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Okay, I got it. There we go. Is that good? Okay. Sorry. I don't think I've ever really done that before. But so anyway, just finding a tool that works for you is really, really important, and tracking it. And you hear over and over again how many people you lose in the process if you're not writing things down and you're not tracking things. And I will say for the first year and a half, I probably didn't track anything. Somehow still did Vet Success Club every month, but I can't even imagine the amount of people that were lost. So, that's part of showing up, is making sure that you keep track of it for you and for your business. And if you're not showing up in that regard every day when it gets hard, and we'll talk a little bit, Martha's going to talk a little bit about Miracle Morning and Community, but I mean, let's be honest here. I leave for work at 6:30 in the morning. Before I go to work, I do my workout, I do my Miracle Morning, I do all of that, which means my alarm goes off at 3:45, and that's early. And I don't know how many people have told me, like, you're crazy, like, you're absolutely insane for getting up so early. And my answer is always that I care enough about myself to do that. Yes, it is early. Like, I'm never on team calls live because I'm in bed. This is like, I go to bed at like 8:30. So, because I get up at 3:45, and that's just part of the sacrifice. If you want something enough in your life, if you really, truly want it, you're going to do whatever you have to do to get it. And there's this, I'm a sports person. So if you've ever heard, like, when you want something as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. Like, that's what it comes down to. When you love yourself that much, when you want to share that love and like see the world through that lens badly enough, then you're going to do whatever you can to make that happen, whether it's getting up at 3:45 or taking 10 minutes to freaking talk to some people, because even though you're scared to death that somebody's going to tell you no, you might be their opportunity. And and Megan had said in a team call very early on, because I was always on the team calls in the beginning because I didn't get up at 3:45. She said it's like you're locking someone's opportunity in your mouth when you don't share it. And when you do that, when you let your fear control what you're doing, and your fear be your excuse for why you won't do something, then you're just taking away from other people that you could be influencing. And that's just not fair to them. So get over yourself is pretty much where we're at, and do it. So, sorry, that was tangent a little bit, Martha, but back to my list here. Power hour document and fitting it in. Oh, your power hour. Your power hour doesn't have to happen in 1 hour. I don't know how many of you actually do a power hour in 1 hour, but if you are busy, if you have kids, if you have a life, if you have, appointments and things that come up, I don't care if you're a stay-at-home mom or a working mom or whatever, you are busy. Okay? There's always a reason to not do it. Always. You can find one. You can be like, oh, I have to wash my hair. I mean, like, let's be real. It's not hard, but you need to fit it in the little tiny moments of your day. So you have 5 minutes in the line when you wait to pick up your kids. you can send out 10 messages in 5 minutes. It's not that difficult. If you want to do it, you're going to do it. If you don't want to do it, you're not going to do it. It's as simple as that. Tag.
By the way, Becky and I talk to each other like this all the time. We're always like, you know how I feel about, so if you ever need a dose of it, we're more than happy to share some of this pep talk with you. So Miracle Morning, we show up in places where there is accountability. So really super early on, I'm going to connect to Becky for Becky's Power Hour for a second. Megan used to run Power Hour groups. Do you remember those, Megan? Back in the day. She would kick you out if you didn't post your Power Hour screenshot. And I am like such a rule follower. And one time I like forgot for like 3 days or something. And I was like, wait, where's the group? And she was like, I'm sorry, but you didn't post it. I was devastated. So from that moment on, Power Hour is like, it's a non-negotiable, and you're going to hear us say that lots. Not make things that you know are necessary to be a successful coach, to change people's lives, a non-negotiable. So my Power Hour, Becky's Power Hour, they're non-negotiables. They happen every day, and if they don't, we make up for them on the weekends. It just has to happen. So another place that we find accountability is our Miracle Morning. We show up on that Zoom call every single morning. And if we're not there, that means we're in a hotel room with random people, or we're traveling or something. But we just plug into, like I said earlier, the things that are already provided for us in this incredible team that we have. Find the people, find the community that you connect to the most, and make them your everything. I mean, you guys are going to be here no matter what, whatever I need. And so Miracle Morning is a place that I show up because you show up for me. Also, live events. That's a huge place to show up. I am an extrovert, so live events don't bother me, but I hear that some people get really uncomfortable with them, or maybe it's just a new situation. I was lucky enough that Sarah kind of just like toted me around, so I was like, okay, this is cool, this isn't scary, but some people might be that way. You're not going to grow if you're not uncomfortable. You're never going to grow if you're scared and you stay scared. So in those moments of fear, if you're nervous to click that Zoom link at 4:00 in the morning, do it anyway. If you're nervous to send that coach invite, do it anyway. If you are freaked out by the idea of a Super Saturday, I dare you tonight to go find your local Super Saturday and buy the ticket tonight, because those are the things that are going to make your business grow. When you show up for your business is going to show up for you. So those are the places that we show up. Miracle Morning, Power Hour, live events. Also, since it's February, I'll just say it, Team Cup too. We're always on a Team Cup team. We always are trying to find people to run with us. Any other kind of live thing where you can build community, it's huge. It's so necessary. So last is Team Up. And Becky was like, should we even call it this? But this is it. Who's your ride or die? Find your ride or die. It can be your downline. It can be your upline. It can be your sideways line, which is what Becky and I are. But you need to find your 1 or 2 or 3 ride or die people. And we are going to tell you how/why.
Okay, so this is the part that gets me emotional, so I'm going to try not to cry because, I mean, like, legitimately, all right, well, let me just start with this. I'll get there. One of the things that Martha and I have done in the last 6 months with our, maybe 6 months with our longer groups, and in the last 3 months, I think, with our short groups, has it been 3 or 2? This is the third, I think, one that we're doing for our 5 days. We've run them together. Now, I'd started running them with someone else in the beginning, and then was kind of running them by myself, which, as it happens, I had kind of an active downline-ish. And then, life happens, and a lot of them have gone discount coach, which is fine. because that fits for them in their business, but I just didn't have a whole lot of team, helping me run my longer challenges. And Martha and I were like, well, let's do one together. Like, this is silly. You're running yours and I'm running mine. Like, hello, let's work together. Light bulbs. Like, again, we're teachers. Let's work smarter, not harder. And so we did, and it was great. It was so much fun to be able to work with somebody who was actually going to do what she said she was going to do. Okay, now sometimes we might post on the wrong day, or like we both have done it. Like, we've scheduled something and it's like, oh crap, it wasn't my day. I'm normally the guilty party, but she's done it too. So yep, it's okay. I feel better. But working together and finding someone that you can pair with in that way, where you complement each other well in the things that you're good at. So like, we always get on Zoom calls and plan out our groups before they start, and who's going to set what posts up and who's going to do what. And one of the things we've implemented recently in our groups is doing PD in the morning posts. So we've been finding videos post as our morning posts so that they have something to start their day with that's in that area of personal development, because a lot of them are not, they're challenges that aren't necessarily tied into the personal development world, but we're starting to groom them for that process, because our ultimate goal is that they will continue on and be lifers or be coaches. And when they've got that personal development piece already built in, that makes it so much easier for them to have the confidence and to find success in that next step, whichever way you go. So finding someone to pair with is really important. The other thing that Martha and I do really well is that we don't bullshit our goals. So like, we talk about our goals, and we talk about our short-term goals, and we talk about longer-term goals. She and I have both said we will be at New Leadership Conference next year. There's no excuse not to. We have control accounts in our downline. It's 1-star diamond qualifying. Like, if I don't get there, it's on me. That's my fault for not getting there. That's no one else's. It's ridiculous, but ultimately our goal is really premier. Really, I'd like to push for elite, that's where I'm at. But, we want to run towards those goals together. And when you have somebody that's working in the same direction as you and the same pace as you, when you start to fall behind, they can pull you along. And when you start to go ahead, you can pull them along. And it's this give and take where you're not alone. You're not like, oh, I'd really like this goal someday. Like, you've told someone your goal, you've called it out, and guess what? You have to find the person that's going to hold you accountable to getting there. You can't kind of like what Megan was saying at the beginning. If you're too similar, you tend to like wallow, or not wallow, maybe that's not the right word, but if you're having issues and you have the same issues, it's really hard to get out of those issues. Like, I'm a little more dramatic, I think, probably than Martha is. And Martha will be like, you need to calm down. Like, no, because this is why you're going to do this, and this is why you're going to do that. And it's what I need to hear at the time when I'm like, oh my God, I just got like my 100th no. I'm never going to make Success Club this month. And it always happens because we make it happen. You find someone who's going to push you to send the extra invites, to put yourself out there, to catch you when you fall. I can't tell you how many times this girl has caught me when I have been on my way to rock bottom. And like that, it's not just a beach body thing. You find somebody who is your person, like, and yeah, you can have other people. You can be, like sister wife-ish. Those of you who have been on the team coach or the team challenge, coach challenge for 80 Day Obsession, you can be a little caca. But I see you laughing, Kelsey. But you can find other people who build up different parts of you. But the great thing about this community is that you find your people. I've never had people before. I just haven't. I haven't had people who have allowed me to be me and accepted me for my faults and my flaws and loved me because of them, not in spite of them. And that in itself is what teaming up does for me. It teaches me that I'm good as I am. And, having somebody who's going to tell me that and also going to kick my ass when I need her to is really important, and I think whoever that is for you, you have to be able to take it, and you have to be able to give it, but you have to know that it's coming from a place of love, because you're more than just success partners or whatever, that like you're friends, your family, and that's different. So again, I'm rambling. That's what I do. Go ahead, Martha.
Oh, yes. When you said that we're both going to New Leadership Conference, it's one of those things where I was like, yeah, when Becky said that, I was sure as hell not going to let her go without me. Like, I'm going if she's going, and she's going if I'm going. So you got to find the people who, and it's one of those things, Megan always talks about this, about posturing to what you want to be. And even though we're working on the same level, we're always looking to like but not in a competitive way ever, but like one up each other. Like, oh, we said Premier, but Becky's like, well, what, we could probably do Elite, or we can do New Leadership Conference, but couldn't we do Premier too? Because isn't that kind of similar? Like we're not leaving each other behind. And that's the kind of person that you want to have always with you. One of the things that I highly recommend, especially if you're looking for a person or people to team up with, and I know Taylor has done a really awesome job with this in the Phoenix Rising group, find the people who you connect to personally. Becky and I are actually a team. We ran a half marathon together and are running another one in April. And you don't have to go run a half marathon, but something where you personally, I highly recommend it. You personally are connecting on like a level that's understanding at all times and can push each other in that personal sense instead of just the business, because we both had kind of a just the business partnership with people before, and it just doesn't work out the same way. This is like lifelong. It's not just rank long, if that makes sense. And Becky already talked about the last point of teaming up. Call each other out on what you say you're going to do. So I have this really awesome planner. It's called a passion planner, and you write your goal and then you make a web of all of the action steps you have to take to make that goal happen. And then you rank those steps in order of vitality. This is a really simple thing you can do. You don't have to have the planner to make a web on a piece of paper. But then what I've done is I've written those down and then told Becky them. I've told her, I have to do my power hour 5 times a week. I have to use Asana this year. I'm not losing people. I'm saying out loud the action steps I need her to hold me accountable for. And that's what a teammate does. You can't do that in a big group. You can't do that in your little small downline team. You have to have that person that's going to really be on top of you. And I think that it's important that we're not dependent on each other in our businesses. Like, we're on different legs of Sarah. So it's just because I care about her and just because she cares about me. That's a huge part of it, because then the intention is always good. And if you're putting in the right kind of energy, you're going to get the right kind of energy out. So yeah, that's what we have for you. Suit up, show up, team up, and cut the bullshit.
Wow, guys, that was awesome. I thought I have nothing to add except for, guys, do you have any questions for Martha and Becky? I'm so proud. I just loved everything about that. Yes. You just communicated that. So, you're teachers, and so I'm like not worthy. But yeah, such great stuff. I want to ask a question because I feel like I think people might want to hear this. Where do you find people? Okay. What you guys have accomplished, coming in as success starters and never letting a month go by that you have not helped at least 3 people. Some people, it can feel like that can seem impossible. And so because you speak to like how you make that non-negotiable, and speak to like how that the momentum of it makes it possible. I think that is the hardest part, is the the hitting it sometimes not. Like, what is your funnel? What is your secret to that? Aside from cutting the bullshit, like, can you guys speak to that a little bit for people?
Do you want me to? Okay. I think, okay, well, first of all, I mean, I run my business. I hate to put it that way. I share my journey on my like page. And so for me, I mean, I do run Facebook ads, and I do run, and I make sure that I connect with people there. And I think when you give someone a really valuable 5-day group experience or 21-day group experience, guess what? They're going to bring their friends next time. And then you have more people. I mean, you have to pour yourself into your groups. And like, one of the things that Martha called me out on a few months ago was that I wasn't showing up enough in the 21-day groups because I had like scheduled my posts, and it was the beginning of the school year and I was super busy, and yeah, it kind of pissed me off, but she was right. And I was like, oh, amazing. I show up more, and more people are having a better experience, and more people then are talking to more people, or they're having a great transformation, and people are seeing that, and they're wanting, so if you're constantly willing to bring more people in, and if you're constantly connecting with the people who follow you on Instagram as new follows, I think Megan posted something the other day where it was like a quick little message like, hey, thanks for following me, I really appreciate the love, or something like that, and it's that simple sometimes. And I've had, not a ton, but I've had conversations that start from that go into, customer things. And the other part is sometimes you just got to get creative. Like there have been months where it's been really hard, and Haley really loves her challenge pack, or whatever. You have to get creative, and I probably shouldn't say that, but sometimes that's what happens. And I'm not willing to sacrifice, trying and pushing to the end of the month. There have been a few months where it's been 11:58 type thing, and sometimes it's hard. And when it's hard, you can't give up. You can't throw in the towel. I don't know. What do you want to add, Martha?
I think you nailed it. Consistency in groups. Make your groups a non-negotiable. A 5-day every single month. We do ours the last week of the month, so that then the 21-day group is starting like the second week of the next month. So they're getting the value in a month where you don't need them, and then they're ready when you do. So that's probably our funnel, is the 5-day to the 21-day. And we don't stop talking to the people just because they say no. That's where tracking comes in. You can't, they stay on my list, on my dry erase board. Their name's not going anywhere. I'm saying, hey, how are you every Monday? I'm saying, how was your weekend? Or what plans do you have, or whatever. So that's where tracking comes in, that you have to stay consistent. And you can go back. I know Becky just sent a bunch of messages to people who had said no like 6 months ago. So you don't lose those people. Also, guys, maybe you know this, maybe you don't. In your online office, you can make so many different reports and filters. Find the people who need an upgrade on their Beachbody On Demand. This is an awesome month for them to upgrade, to rebuy a challenge pack because they stopped Shakeology, and join your, you just have to always be searching for those people and knowing, oh my God, this is it. Knowing that there are so many people in this world who don't have a Beachbody coach, and they need you. Go find them. Like, they are out there. Like, you just have to put that mindset in, and you'll find them every single time. They need you.
And she talks like that all the time. Like, okay, so there were a couple questions over here. I'm reading the little chat. Chris had asked, I don't know, did you see that, Martha? Did you read the chat?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to take that one?
Some of your obstacles and bullshit that you have to cut through daily and monthly. All right, so really simple one is I come home from work and I don't want to do my power hour, right? I'm tired. I don't feel like it. Guys, I do my power hour for this reason. I'm not happy all the time. I just make myself happy all the time. And here's how I do it. When I'm grumpy, I go message 10 people and get some happiness from them. I got 5 no's yesterday. Well, I'm going to go talk to 10 more people and see if I can get a yes from them. So I'm always creating, I'm taking that obstacle and I'm using it as like the spark to ignite my fire. And that is probably a mindset from personal development that I just didn't know I had, but that's probably so it's your mindset is how I get through obstacles, I think, most of the time.
Yeah, I think I was trying to think of other things that I can I love that, Elizabeth. What helps your grump is key. No, that's great. I think, I mean, a lot of you guys who have kids, you know that the kids can create a major obstacle to your flow of work and working out. And I luckily do my workout at 4:30 in the morning most days, so the kid isn't in the way. That is part of it. Part of it, I mean, we talk about Miracle Morning, and yes, I get up at 3:45, which is 2 hours earlier than I would get up, and that I'm going to get up tomorrow morning because I'm sleeping in because I'm up doing this. But it's just saying. But I will work out tomorrow after school. Point being, start with 15 minutes. So you think you can't get up early. I had someone today tell me I can't get up that early. Well, it's not that you can't, it's that you won't. So start with 15 minutes, back it up 15 minutes and do a little meditation in the morning. There's some great apps. I use Simple Habit. I love that one. There are plenty of other apps out there that have meditations on them. I'm not really good at the whole meditation thing because I am anxiety prone and high energy, and it's very hard for me to sit still and shut up. It's just not easy. But, do that 15 minutes. And then when that gets easier, back it up another 15 minutes, and like get over that excuse that way. If you're busy at work, maybe it's hard. I'm a teacher. I eat in front of my kids. I'm like, you know what? And literally, this is what's happening right now with ADD Obsession. I have all of my alarms in my phone with little hearts next to them to tell me what I need to eat, when I need to eat it, and my alarms go off. And my students, who are high schoolers, are now like, hey, Miss Wario, it's time to eat, because they just know that that's what's happening. And it's a little weird, and I get teased, by my 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. But I don't care because I'm doing it for me. So sometimes you have to be okay with, having a little judgment come your way, because let's be real. And if you've read any Gabby Bernstein, the judgment isn't really about you. It's about them and their lack of ability to, their lack of love for themselves, or their lack of faith in themselves, or they're just jealous that they're not willing to put themselves first. So you just have to get past that. Let me think. That's probably about it. I mean, there's tons of obstacles on a daily basis, and you just have to say, I'm committed to me, and find a way.
Can I add one more thing to that too?
No.
With perfectionism, you want to fill in that whole power hour tracker, and some days it's just that you fill in half. Just take what you can. If there's literally a day that you cannot move yourself, then don't. But I guarantee you can at least say hello to 10 people. But if you can't say hello to 5, just do something. Just always be doing something. I think that's probably the best way to break an obstacle. Just do something.
Mm-hmm. Elizabeth mentioned the 5-second rule, which is Mel Robbins. Totally how I get out of bed in the morning. Literally my alarm goes off at 3:45 and I'm like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'm up every single morning, because nobody really wants to get up at 3:45. Legitimately, it's not natural, but it is now. Then Keely said that she was wondering, where do we find people for this? And I think honestly, some of the best places are live events, because you really get a chance to connect with people there. And I mean, this is good, and online community is good, but when you can see someone's soul, and you just get a feel for who they really are. I mean, as Martha and I drove to Nashville, and more so on the way back, as we ended up broken down on the side of the road, and you find your people in those moments, and it's just easier. So get to a live event, connect with somebody. It doesn't have to be a Team Phoenix person. I know, Megan's got Sarah, and Sarah's not Team Phoenix. There's a lot of people that reach outside of the team. Any chance you get to Summit. For the love of God, get to Summit. If you're not coming to Summit, you are missing out on so many things. And obviously, if you're pregnant, you're excused. I know some of the mommies to be can't come, and that's okay. We'll miss you. But, that is an amazing place to meet our downline, a ton of other people. And okay, I'm gonna shout out Chelsea here, because Chelsea came last year to Summit and literally talked to everyone. And I was like, this girl is amazing. Here I am. This is my second summit, and I'm like too shy to talk to Megan because she's Megan, you know. Now I know better now. You know, it's like, do that. Talk to people. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be like, hi, I'm Becky. How are you? Or whatever. I'm weird. It's fine. And own your weird. That's the other thing.
Well, you guys are the bomb, and I think all of us are super inspired right now. I know I am. I know you guys totally inspired me tonight. You guys are rock stars, and you know, guys, like Keely, you're asking, you know, where to find people. I think it's so important to show up in the teen community. Just the more you talk and engage, the more others will, and the more you're going to start to identify those people who are your tribe. And maybe they're not success partners always. Maybe that's not necessarily always like, you may not find that right away, but just being super active in these communities that we have already existing, you're going to find people that you connect with, and that like when they see you do well, they're going to celebrate you. And when they see you do an awesome post, you're going to have, you want to create that community. You want to create those people who have your back, and you want to have their back. Go, you know, show up as a coach always. A coach should be like your personality. It should be who you are. You should always be loving and encouraging and loving on people. But I